Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Bare Bones Living. Amanda here with Hunter. It's early in the morning, and I thought I would take this opportunity to make this quick video before the boys really wake up and our morning gets all hectic and loud, to talk about the Pantry Challenge. I am accepting the challenge. And if you aren't familiar with what that is, Three Rivers Homestead has created a pantry challenge that she has done for, I think, 5 years or something like that. And where she does not go to the grocery store for the months of January and February.
And diapers.
And the object of this pantry challenge is to go through your stores, being, your whatever's in your pantry, your fridge, your freezer, what you've canned that you've grown over the past growing season, things like that. And you utilize what you've preserved, even what you've bought. We're all guilty of going to the store and grabbing those impulse items, or you have a recipe that calls for something that you only use half of it, and then the other half goes into your pantry and you don't know what to do with it. So the idea is to use up the old to make way for the new. And so this year I have preserved more food than I ever have. I've told you guys before that I have canned before, but my main preservation method has always been freezing, which is a great option and I still utilize. However, we had a tornado this summer, where we lost power for days straight. And we were not prepared for such an event. I live very close to Tornado Alley. In my 35 years of living here, there has only been one there's always threats of tornadoes because I live in the suburbs of Chicago, but Illinois is a very flat, plainy area. So we're not technically in Tornado Alley, but we're just outside of Tornado Alley, and we've only had one real tornado come anywhere near where I live in 35 years. However, this summer we had a tornado way, way too close to home. It was literally the actual tornado was 2 houses down on my cross street and went down my cross street and destroyed multiple houses. Anywho, we were not prepared for such a disaster. And we did not have a generator, and it was just a big eye-opener. We have since gotten a generator. That was always on our list of things that we wanted. We just didn't have we didn't think we had the need for it at the time. But it also made me start thinking at any moment, anything could happen and we could lose power, and I would lose everything. I would lose all my meat, all my produce, everything. So that's when I really decided that this year's harvest would go to canning and preserving in different methods. So I'm going to be using some of that, but really what I want to use this pantry challenge for is to get through what's in my pantry, like more so the impulse buys at the grocery store and the things that you buy for a recipe and only use half of. We don't have tons of space in our house. So the pantry that I have is just like it's a tall cabinet in my kitchen with 4 drawers, and that is always chock full of things, and that's got condiments and grains and pastas and granola bars and all my baking goods and things like that. That's where that stuff is all kept. Peanut butter and jelly for the kids, extras, things like that. But it's always chock full. And I'd like to utilize what's in there. Also, with Mike harvesting a deer and us having it processed and the meat all packaged up for us, we have a stand-up freezer, and it's 4 shelves, and the top shelf is completely taken up with this deer, which is awesome. However, I need to use up the meat that I had, and there's still produce in there that I haven't processed necessarily, that I want to use and get out of the way for next year's harvest. And I want to use meats that are older, that might be close to freezer burn. The way that I buy our meat mostly is I like to get the grass-fed organic meats, and the only way that we can afford grass-fed organic meats for our family is by buying them on quick sale. And what that means is that they're close to or at their best buy date. So they've been, out in the grocery store for X amount of days, and, they want to sell it in that time frame. So what I do is anytime that there's anything on that, I buy those and I immediately freeze them. So I have lots of odds and ends in there, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my way through the odds and ends. I'm gonna use this deer as our beef substitute once we make our way through the odds and ends that I have bought already. And then I think I'm gonna look into getting like a half of a hog or a quarter of a cow or something along those lines for our future meat purchases, and really kind of get away from the grocery store. So for this challenge, I am really excited, and there's a lot of, I'm gonna tag Three Rivers Homestead in this video, and I think that there's a lot of other homesteads that are doing this challenge, and a lot of people that are sharing their own recipes on how they're using the things in their pantry. It's gonna force me especially to be more creative with what I make, and how I use my ingredients to make meals for my family. And I think it's also going to show me what we truly do like, and what we do eat, and what I should purchase or grow in the future, in order so that I'm not like growing things that are unnecessary. So basically the rules to this challenge is there are no rules. And you really kind of just make it what's going to work for your family. And so I have decided that I'm going to allow still my azure pickup, which is next week. And that is because we really enjoyed the A2 products that I was able to get from Azure. It wasn't enough to last us the whole month, so we did need to supplement at the grocery store. But we did like them, so I ordered that again. I don't have any kind of dairy animal that can give us dairy, and we are a big dairy family, so yogurts, cheese, milk, and butter, I still ordered through Azure. And then we had to get a bunch of chicken feed and things like that. So I will still allow the Azure order. I think I mentioned in one of my Azure videos that I also do what's called Imperfect Produce, and that's another delivery service. And I think I'm actually going to be canceling that subscription. It's kind of changed in the time that I have been with them, which I think is maybe 2 years now. It used to just be produce, which was very helpful because we go through a lot of produce and I can only grow so much. Which can also still be tricky because the reason it's called imperfect is because their produce is things that the grocery stores have said, we're not going to sell this because it's ugly or misshapen or not the standard. So multiple times I have ordered a certain amount of sweet potatoes, for instance. And I'll order a pound of sweet potatoes. And a couple times I've gotten a single 1 pound sweet potato. And then the next time I'll get like 5 little sweet potatoes. So it can be, you don't know what you're going to get until it arrives. So then you got to figure out how you're going to utilize that produce. And then they recently added other groceries to Imperfect, which is great for a lot of people. But that's also where I've fallen into the trap of impulse buying. So I have quite a few things in my pantry that I was like, ooh, that'll be fun. I'll make that. And then it sits in my pantry. And then they increased, if you buy a certain amount, then your delivery is free. And it used to be much more reasonable, and they, I think, just doubled it to, I think, $60 in order to get free shipping. So I feel like those are more convenience foods that I'm trying to get away from and things that I don't really need. And I find myself just adding more to my box in order to get the free shipping, and that's not why I'm doing it. I was doing it for cheaper organic produce. So I canceled it for the month of January. You can skip your boxes as you'd like, and I'm going to reevaluate. So instead of getting my imperfect deliveries, and I was getting those every other week, I will be allowing our family to go to the grocery store in order to get apples, bananas, and string cheese. Because Azure does sell string cheese, but they only sell the white string cheese, which Hunter does not like the white string cheese. He only likes the orange string cheese. So we have to get that. And actually their string cheese is not very cost effective at Azure. And then we have apples and bananas that we pack into our lunches for work. And we use our bananas in our smoothies and things like that. So having fresh produce and the access to the string cheese for the kids, I can, I don't want to take away their snacks, and I can't make string cheese. So I'll just buy them. So those are the mainly dairy, but the fresh produce that I don't have any fruit trees, and I can't grow a banana plant in Chicago, so I will allow our family to continue those. Those are healthy things. But I will be sending Mike to go get those things because, confession time, I don't buy things. I'm not like a spendy person. I don't buy clothes. I don't buy makeups or anything like that. But my vice, most definitely my vice, is food. I like to buy the fancy foods, the unique foods, the unique spices, things like that. And I have a problem with impulse shopping. So my biggest budget has and always will probably be on food. So I will be sending Mike to the grocery store on his way home from work to get those items. And I'm just staying out of the stores altogether. So that's just an in and out of what we're doing, why we're doing it. And then I was going to actually show you where we're starting from. So I'm going to show you my disgustingly packed pantry and my disgustingly packed freezers, because I have one upstairs that's attached to my refrigerator that is packed to the gills, and then I have a freestanding freezer downstairs that's packed, and then the stores that I have in my canning that I actually keep out in my garage. So let's go check that out. All right, so as you can see, this is our pantry, and basically how I have, it's four drawers, and they're deep drawers. Mike actually rebuilt all these and restructured them because they were the way that they were built was very flimsy and they didn't hold very much, but now, as you can tell, don't judge. We have lots and lots and lots of stuff, but the way that I have this set up is that I have my baking stuff up top here. So like odds and ends and like my cinnamons and stuff like that, but I also, and like chocolate chips are up here and things, cookies and chips are up here. Then on this row I have like teas and peanut butters and my rices and some vinegars and things of that nature. In here on this row I have even more peanut butters, some syrup. These are our almonds for our shakes. Our teas and coffees are in here. And some jellies. And then down here on our heaviest shelf I have pastas, oats, all my cornmeals, flours, dried beans, granola, and then whatever I have left of store-bought canned products. Just a couple of odds and ends, some tuna, some peppers and things like that. So that's like my dry storage stores that I'm starting with right now. So this is our upstairs freezer. And what we usually keep up here is things that we need quick access to. So I have all of our fruit that we get from Azure for our smoothies. We save all of our apple cores for Mike to make his own apple cider. I always have bags that I collect the odds and ends of vegetables that I can use for stocks. So anything that I want to use for a stock is in here. So over here I have mostly just fruits and vegetables. Over here on this side I have some breads and some meats. And when I buy the big things from Azure, I split them up into little bags so that it's easier. I can bring this upstairs, and this is something that's actually usable for us instead of like a big 5-pound bag.
Mom?
I keep all of our breakfast meat up here, so I have all of our bacon and sausage over on this side. I also save our meat bones, so this is like a chicken meat bone thing, but this top is mostly meat. I got some chicken nuggets, but as you can see, it's very packed to the gills. Now this is out in my garage where I keep all of my canned products. This is just a refrigerator that my grandma gave me when she sold her house, and it's not turned on. Obviously, I just use it for storage of my canned goods. So I have like jellies down on the bottom. Then I have broths and my cowboy candy. Then up here on this shelf I have tomato products. And up top I have pickles and my ketchups and salsa, I think. And last but not least, I have my freezer, which is probably the least organized of anything. So I'll try to explain it to you. In this door here, the top is just vegetables that are frozen and some salsas and some baked beans that I had made. Here I have some steaks that I got from Quick Sale, and this is what I mean, like when I say Quick Sale, it's grass fed and grass finished beef. This is a sirloin and it was 30% off, so when I see these I just snag them. So I got some steaks here, some chicken, and some peppers that I had grown earlier this year. I got some turnips, some broccoli, some more peppers, some more random meats. Looks like some beans, our venison, bratwurst, some more soups down here. Some more soups down here. Some kale, and then this is chicken. And then in the actual freezer, you can see this top here, these brown paper bags. This is like our venison steaks are in this one, ground venison is in this one, and then there's one behind this one that has like pot roasts and things like that. And then on the top there's some bread buns, some bread that I made. I think there's one or two whole chickens up there. And then I think this row is mostly pork and some of my pot pies. This is the half and half, or not half and half, but heavy whipping cream that I got with my Azure order. You can see I still have some tomatoes and things in here that I'll need to make up into things. I have down here, this is a lasagna, more meats, more of our meat sticks, some whole chickens, and then on the bottom I have some peppers. That I believe is a quiche. I have some muffins down there. I think I have some bread back there that I froze for homemade breadcrumbs, things of that nature. But as you can tell, I need, everything is pretty deep in there. And I need to make my way through all that as well. So that was kind of a deep dive into our personal life and story. Kind of weird, I guess, showing our pantry and, our freezer and stuff like that. But that's what I have in store, in my stores right now. It's the 6th today? Yeah, it's January 6th, so we've already been doing this for 6 days. Not like that's monumental or anything like that, but we didn't go grocery shopping to stock up on any groceries prior to this challenge because I really wanted to challenge myself and see what I could do. And that's what I have in my house. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this pantry tour. And go ahead and check out the other pantry tour or the other pantry challenge people. Stay tuned for maybe some recipes. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, please do that. And thanks for spending the morning with me. I mean, this wasn't exactly an exciting video, but it is something that we are doing at our house right now, and I had the time to film it at the time, so that's what I did. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for stopping by today and joining in on our journey here at Bare Bones Living. We'll catch you on the next one.